for your ketosis sugars to be born internally. Ketosis sugars are those sugars that will stop and remain in your pancreas and in your liver that will never be converted to waste. Okay, this can cause you obesity and fat if you keep on adding additional sugars apart from your ketosis sugars that is only being used when you do the exercise, jogging, working. Meaning to say these are internal sugars. They will not go out unless you do to burn them out. Okay? These are ketosis sugars. That's why we have ketosis, meaning the process of burning out sugars. But these sugars are not the same as glucose, sucrose, fructose. So these are all in organic chemistry. This type of sugar sometimes can act as an aldehyde and sometimes can act also as a carbohydrate. For example, one specific example for this is, aldehyde, dialdehyde ketone, something like that. Or diacetone aldehyde. This is also a sugar. It looks like very strange. The name itself, it's looking an acetone. Acetone will create poison to us if we drink, if we take it up internally, right? Oh, why is it terrible? Because this is only naming, but not a characteristic of being an acetone. Naming, but this kind of aldehyde family will sometimes act as a sugar more rather than act as an acetone, a characteristic. This is a paint removal, or shall we say ink removal, or when you write, then you use acetone, it will be removed, right? So that's the characteristic of an acetone, or ketone family, something in organic chemistry. But these types of sugars is also like that, okay? You get the point? I don't have to discuss it very well because it's already discussed last month, then my time will not be enough. I will discuss all the functional groups of organic chemistry, right? It's not healthy. Char! It's not healthy daw. Nakakaloka. Okay? Ganon! Now, nuclear weak forces. Nakakaloka. Okay? Nuclear weak forces. Pwede sa siya with nuclear force, guys, ha? Kamu rin bahala basta ma-present yun ang weak ang nuclear forces. Okay? Basta mo na siya. Ganon? Yes. Okay, now, in this, we have also the strong. The strong is driven primarily with quarks, the protons, electrons, and the neutrons. For example, if the electrons flow in a certain path or wire, it will create an electricity or a current because your particles, specifically electrons, are electrically charged, meaning moving from one point to another. If there's no movement of your electrons, it will never flow, then there will be no electricity at all. And there will be no current, right? That is a principle of Ohm's law in practical electricity. Now, that is an example of a strong force. Magnetism also is a strong force, right? It will create a magnetic field if you have the bar magnet attached or contact with a nail or any metallic object in something like that, the law of magnetism. So that is strong force or nuclear strong forces. Okay, but we are dealing here with weak, meaning to say the elementary particles, blah blah blah, so and so to be converted to another particles, such like that. For example, if the planet, not necessarily the planet, shall we say the sun, okay, S-U-N, sun. Anybody of you knows our Father? Our Father is the sun. And our Almighty Father created the sun. And the Lord God said, let there be light. And the sun appears. The stars appears, something like that at night, and the moon appears. How magical the world really is, with a combination of our solar system and the outer space and the 9 planets in the celestial bodies and heavenly bodies after Big Bang Theory 18 billion years ago. Ganon. O diba? That's astronomy, right? Pure science that deals with the study of heavenly bodies, celestial bodies, and the solar system in the universe. Something like that. Okay, going back to the with nuclear force. Okay? Ganon. Klaro tayo guys, nuclear. It has to do something with nucleus in an atom. Okay, with nuclear force. So in this topic, we will review that. Atom, particle, like that, okay? But you know that already because last month, right? The definition of an ion, the definition of the molecule, okay? The Avogadro number, something like that. Okay, you should be clever for that already and memorize the concepts for that and stock it in your brain cells. Ganon. Okay. Okay, ganun. With nuclear force, manano siya mga palangka. So if you deal with nuclear forces, it has to do something with the nuclear chemistry. Okay, nuclear chemistry. Though it has been studied in the particle chemistry and physics, and then we need to attach the basic knowledge and concept with nuclear chemistry. So I can say here that nuclear chemistry plus particle physics, right? Okay, particle physics. Okay, and nobody wants this particle physics because we cannot understand smallest, tiniest particles, smallest than an electrons and protons and neutrons, protons, and so. In fact, I don't know what is the mass of one fermion and one lepton, unless I'll be able to have my own scientific discovery that deal with it. But I don't know. Okay, because it is not mentioned also based on my research. Okay, but you know, but this electron and proton and neutron are very, very familiar. These are the particles that we are trying to study well. Okay, from our grade school level, high school level, and our college education. Right? So nuclear chemistry, it has to do something with nuclear transmutation. Marami kasi pinaghuhugutan. Okay, nuclear transmutation. What is a transmutation all about? Okay. Transmutation is a process because it ends in ION. Usually, ends in ION is a process. Okay. So the verb here is transmutate. The act of transmutating. Okay. So what is your root word in this word transmutation? Okay. If we have, this is ma red flag dyan po guys. Okay, because you know, the YT administrator is always alarmed us not to talk about VIRUS, especially COVID-19. But sometimes when we deal with discussion, it cannot be also avoided to touch a little bit with that, right? Especially the VIRUS. Okay, let's say it in that way. The VIRUS under the process of mutation. Meaning to say, the process of propagating and generating another type of VIRUS. So, mutation is our root word for this. Okay? Mutation. The verb is transmutate, and the whole process is transmutation. And trans is a prefix in English, attached to the root word mutation. What is a trans? A trans specifically shifting, transferring, moving, rotating, orienting. So that's trans. Okay? That's why we have transportation because the car is moving. Okay, transportation. But the root word there is port, P-O-R-T. Since the car is moving, that is transport. And that is a process, I-O-N, so transportation. Muna ang pinaghugutan why we have a term transportation. There is a root word, the original term, there's a noun, there's a verb, and there's the whole process in it, something like that. Okay, you got the point. Ganon. And your verb there is transport. You transport something like that, okay? But sometimes, guys, in English, transport can sometimes use as a noun and also a verb at the same time. So, like that. Okay, be careful also. It matters only in your utilization in a sentence or a paragraph. Something like that. But here, nuclear transportation. It's very clear. Mutation is the process here. Just like the VIRUS, meaning ability of generating one over the other from the original substance, it will create another substance. It will, you know, it will mutate. But it is transmutation because aside from propagating, you know, generating and creating another one, multiplied by another, they will transfer also or orient. Not enough that process is like transmutation, or else it will become mutation only. Since there's undergoing a shifting, orientation, like that, moving from point A to point B, mutuyok siya, whatever, that's why transmutation. It's not enough to say mutation. Okay, because mutation is not only, it's only making them more out of a single, species, something like that. That's mutation. Okay? You get the point? Reproduction, generation, like that, whatever. There's a lot of terms, but it means the same thing. Something like that. Okay? So nuclear transmutation. In nuclear transmutation, we are dealing with element, not the biological part, virus. So we will say it is, okay, the transmutation of elements. Okay, this is the process of changing elements one over the other to produce another element. Okay, for example, this is my calculator, element A. I can transmutate this to another calculator. The same like this, but it is oriented to another direction, but there's a changes in the properties of the another, like a calculator also. That is transmutation, but element only in this situation. Okay? Muna siya yung mga kuan, pamaagi na muna yung mahitabo din ng higayuna. Charot! Okay? Like that. Any questions so far? Charot. Just like the hydrogen, like that, the hydrogen from the sun will be converted to helium. Okay, but before doing that, it undergoes transmutation of a particle proton. Let's go direct, guys. We don't have to be, talking naman detali. It's a transmutation from a proton to be converted into additional electron, neutrino. Neutrino also is particles under electrons. 12 sa tsaka buo. Okay? Muna siya yung mga leptons, guys. Diba? Ganon. Okay? So, nahimo siyang helium. But before going helium, convert sa siya of krypton, ganon. Okay? Something like that. So, that's transmutation. But in here, the process generally known as nuclear fission. Okay? Like that. Okay? We convert siya from a lighter going to big. So this is fission. Okay, fission. Okay, since this is coming from a hydrogen, positive, one proton, right? It will go to a helium, which is 4,2He. This is the atomic number, and this is the mass number or the molecular weight. The mass number and the molecular weight is just equal, but the mass number has no unit. It is just a number. That's the difference. Okay, again. Mass number of all elements is just equal to the molar mass, molecular weight, atomic mass, whatever, but it has no unit. Unitless. When you say mass number. Just like saying atomic mass number. ANU, atomic mass unit, relative mass unit. There's no such mass specifically. There's no unit specifically. Okay, like that. So this is our mass number. This is our atomic number. So it will produce helium. That's why this helium will be propagated and released to the planet Earth. Like that. Okay, the helium is the kind of heat we feel every day by the sun. Okay, He helium. Helium also, this is the gas, can be obtained in scuba diving underwater. You need to have enough supply of helium to survive in diving or scuba diving. Scuba means self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. That is scuba. Alright? Definition for that. Have an oxygen under your pack and you go diving. In order you can sustain your breathing, you can sustain for a longer period of time, your inhalation, exhalation, like that, whatever, then you have to have enough level of helium gas. Something like that. So this came out in the board examination. Okay, I just tried to share with you. Okay. What kind of gas found present in a diver? Diver meaning the one who dives under the water. Diver lang siya is an action verb. Noun. Anything that ends in ER is a noun. Okay? A dancer, a singer, interpreter, entertainer, speaker. Okay, ER signifies a person who do that particular craft or art. Something like that. You get the point? So, diver. So, helium ang answer na. Now, we have the fission. Starting from hydrogen, actually, mga naman siya ganyan, protium, deuterium, and then tritium. And after that, we introduce an electron neutrino particle as our catalyst, something like that. Though it's not a catalyst, but we will just have an analogy that you have to add. Like that's a electron neutrino. O, di ba? Nakakaloka. It will produce last the helium gas. So, marami siyang pinaguhugutan before we will receive the heat of the sun. And apart from that also, there is also another constituent gases from the sun, which is the phosphorus gas. Okay, phosphorus gas, which is responsible in our plants, trees, animals that we take in every day, the food, the drinks, whatever, and then without phosphorus, then we will die because this is the process of photosynthesis. The photosynthesis will not take effect if there's no phosphorylation addition in the sunlight. Okay? Because photosynthesis needs sunlight as our catalyst there, light energy, and then pattern that will produce the chemical energy, which are the carbohydrates in which present in the food we eat. Kanini pang kaon na white rice. Okay? Cabbage, whatever. So it is coming from photosynthesis with the additive of phosphorylation, oxidative phosphorylation process. And this phosphorylation, the phosphorus there is coming from the sun. Okay? Like that, mga pinaghuhugutan. That's why I tell you, we will not survive without the sun. Okay? We will die all. Okay? Because sun is 80% source of your vitamin, of our vitamin D. It's not the food. Again. The sun is the main source of our vitamin D, not the food supplement or not the vitamin D supplement. Clear? That's why even though you don't buy vitamin D supplement, and even though you will not eat also vitamin D rich food, you're still alive. Because we have the sun every day. You get the point? Because it's 80% producer of our vitamin D. That's why we need to expose early in the morning by walking like that in different places to places if you really want to add your vitamin D level in your system because you don't have money to buy the vitamin D supplements, right? And then you can buy that really the food that rich in vitamin D also. That's why it's better. There's no money involved. All you have to do is to expose yourself in the heat of the sun. Okay? Basically in the morning or in the afternoon if you want, but the level in the morning rather than in the afternoon and the sunset. But there's the level there, but already lesser. Okay? You get the point? Okay, so at the same time, it creates a good metabolism because you do the exercise. Walking also is the best. Walking is the best exercise. It's not jogging. It's not biking. It's not the gym. Because the basis is ideality. Meaning of ideality, you don't have to buy something just to do that act. You don't have to act excessively just to do that act. What they will do is if you do jogging, it requires efforts to you and body you will be tired. So it requires passion, commitment, maintenance. Whereas if you walk only, you can walk. Okay? Very easy to do. That's why with that requirements, it will become the best exercise is the walking, not the gym because of the requirements. We are not talking really for how many calories it will be burned. So ideally, the walking is the best exercise. Okay? It will be advised by the doctor when you reach 60 years old up to strengthen the rigidity of your bones. Especially when we grow older, our bones will be becoming a little bit weaker compared in our younger era. Something like that. Directly proportional also and complementary also for the reduction of your protein, collagen protein. as we grow older. That's why we have also wrinkles, our face will become kunot-kunot, kulubot, or whatever, because our collagen protein is not that high anymore because we grow older and we are now aging. Something like that. That is a biological process. The way you are in everyday life, you are growing older, right? So the more we have that kind of natural process, then the more we study science, physiology, anatomy, epidemiology, and biochemistry, and health science. Health. Okay, you get the point? Talking about the food, the disease, what will be happening, controlling the disease, what are the diseases to control this kind of diseases, and you will have an idea of how to overcome those kind of diseases. It's not enough, we will always be dependent to the doctors, okay, and nurses. Okay, we should not do that. Okay, we should firstly, we will do that by ourselves. And they will only act as a support system to us. Because that is our life. This is our life. And why we depend for others in order for us to stay longer in this world? Right? We are responsible in our own self. Because they are just a support system to us by their profession. But we as individuals is responsible or fully responsible by our own health, not others. Okay, that's very clear. Okay, now we have this fission thing, and fission thing also is the thing equivalent to decomposition chemical reaction. For example, if I have cobalt, what is atomic weight of cobalt? It's gonna be it's gonna be 58.93 gram per atom. The cobalt will be able to have another atomic number, exists in so many forms. Cobalt 60, cobalt 59, cobalt 61. But the one who will change is not the atomic mass, only the atomic number. The same with carbon. Carbon 12, carbon 12, carbon 13, like that. And all of these elements exist based on their appearances. This is called allotropes in chemistry. The ability of the element to form another form.